Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 17th of November, comes to you from London. And we see this morning UK inflation out 4.2%, so that's a really quite dramatic rise that we've seen. US inflation, of course, sitting at 6.2%. UK is really sort of catching up. It's quite interesting to see how this blue line leads the red line. So US inflation tends to rise ahead of UK inflation. Here we see how it fell ahead of inflation, the same here. So quite interesting to see that relationship. So if the relationship is there, then we shouldn't be surprised to see UK inflation going just where US inflation is going. And of course, a big driver on that in the news flow this morning is energy prices, and we'll come and look at the energy mix in a minute. But let's start by looking at the macro first. The dollar index is pushing higher, so continuing to look strong. These upside targets on the short-term chart now being met. Remembering this is the weekly, daily and 60-minute chart. These are my tracker charts. And so you can just literally go through and look at the markets really quickly like that. So the euro sinking lower against that stronger dollar. The dollar yen pushing to a new high. This is a lead indicator for the dollar, and we're just nudging the 115 level now. So looking strong there. Dollar strength, very much the theme. Sterling is sitting at 134 this morning. It's a bit flat against the dollar, but the trend is generally down on that medium-term chart. And against the euro, we're nudging that 119 mark again. So we're seeing sterling up this morning, really on that CPI number. Interest rates expectations are back in flow, so we are seeing sterling just rising there and looking stronger against that euro. Bitcoin back below the $60,000 level. We said yesterday that there were targets into the high 50s. That's where we've gone. We're pulling back here. No big surprises there. That ultimately sets us up for another target if we reverse and then start rising again. But these long-term targets still very much in train. And the fact that we made the higher high is significant. Looking at the S&P 500 index, we were up 0.4% yesterday. The trend's still very much in train there. 6% upside on all three time frames there. So that's still very much where we see the market going. The futures this morning are little change, so call for the day will be flat. We've noticed lately that the futures tend to be flat, and then the market just gets some momentum going through the day. But for the moment, the futures are flat. The VIX volatility has fallen a little bit, so that's put us back into short-term bearish territory for the fear index. Just means the market's taking things in their stride. The DAX in Germany, little change. The CAC Quarante, little change. European markets are flat this morning. Japan is down 0.5%. The Hang Seng down 0.25%. The Shanghai Composite bucking the trend up 0.4%. But on the whole, most Asian markets were lower. And we'll look at the energy mix in a minute. But we are seeing soft commodities continuing to rise. And of course, this is fueling inflationary fears as well. We've got wheat pushing higher. Had a very strong week last week. That's the weekly candle there, breaking to new all-time highs, so that's strong as well. Looking at gold, we're sitting at 1859, holding the short-term trend just. We had a big move last week, and we're now just consolidating that move, but gold is still bullish on all three time frames. Silver is also just having broken that cloud, is just holding that trend just. And if we look at platinum, that's up 0.6%. That's looking like quite a strong recovery, although yesterday we saw quite a big fall away there. Looking at US 10-year yields, 1.63%. So we are just edging higher all the time, pushing to that 1.79% level. So that's quite key as well. And if we look at the 30-year, we're pushing, and we've got a long-term target there of 3% if we break that 2.2%. If we make a new high, that's where we head for yields. But 175, 179 on the 10-year is what we're watching. Looking at the energy mix now, we've got Brent Crude lower this morning. We were neutral to clients this morning. It's just a bit hard to call. This is my daily, my 60 minutes, so medium and short term. And then my daily 60-minute and 1 minute, very short term. What's going to happen today? These are the charts we use for our daily call out to clients. Looking at US nat gas, We're down 2% this morning. We did have this downside target, which was a bit worrying. We fell away. So we are seeing gas prices in the US falling away. Coal actually had a bit of a rise yesterday, not enough to put it back in bullish territory on the cloud, and we are just now potentially finding support on the lagging line there. Emissions, we were neutral today. They've broken out. We've put out a report to clients yesterday on how high we think carbon can go, but interestingly, today we're just stalling a bit, and again we were neutral. MBP is up 3% and TTF up 4%. We've got targets in both directions, but for the moment we favour the upside there. But just watch for a fall away. When you get this parabolic rise, that will be key. We're not calling a new all-time high at the moment. We're just saying that this is the relief rally, and it will stop somewhere, and we're keeping an eye on where. German power up 2% this morning. We were neutral today, just a shortage of targets there. And looking at the Nordic power chart, that's still looking very strong indeed, up 5% this morning. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you there.